Chapter 2. Unknown Enemy. Max was enjoying a leisurely day with his family on a beautiful beach when he decided to take a solitary walk to clear his mind, leaving his wife and daughter to enjoy some activities together at the hotel. However, while walking, Max suddenly finds it hard to breathe, and the day starts turning into night. Lightning crackles in the sky and a terrifying creature with glowing yellow eyes emerge from the thick smoke before Max. It's an enemy he hasn't encountered before, and the creature isn't alone. He's with a group of futuristic soldiers in black and yellow uniforms that Max recognizes from the lab where he gained his powers. Taking advantage of Max's lack of oxygen, the soldiers attack and injure him. Max then transforms into his metal form and his breathing difficulty subsides. However, Max notices that these soldiers are much faster than before. The hideous creature introduces itself as Soot and claims to be aware of Max's new abilities and tells Max that he can sense his presence, so Max will never be able to run away from him. Max is warned by Soot that he will face consequences for destroying the laboratory of his ally, scientist Dr. Strongbrain. Soot declares that he is the supreme being, and that no one can stop him. He uses his immense power to overwhelm Max, who in a desperate move turns into smoke and runs away. Despite successfully escaping, Max reverts to his human form and arrives at the hotel room injured from the intense fighting. He finds his wife Megan Smith and daughter Mia Smith, and informs them that he needs to embark on a mission. Max takes his family home and heads to Navy SEALs base to alert his superiors of the impending threat. Upon arriving at the base, Max's wounds are examined by the doctors, who are amazed at how quickly they are healing. Despite this, Max is still shaken by the strength of his enemy, Soot, and decides to investigate who these monsters are. His discoveries reveal that Soot is linked to a secret organization called the Black Vipers, which has global ambitions for power. So Max Smith's superior named Paul Moore comes close to Max and says that they have known about the Black Vipers organization for some time and that it has an undercover agent in this organization and who would soon reveal the name to Max Smith. Returning home, Max awaits orders from his commanders and shares his experience with his mother, Sarah Smith. She encourages him to train harder and improve his skills. During his training, Max is reminded of Soot, and his heart rate increases, so Max realizes that his metal and smoke powers are limited by his heart rate, which makes him panic that he cannot defeat Soot. Sarah sets up a heart rate monitor for Max and explains what his ideal heart rate should be. To avoid running out of his powers, Max will need to train not only his body but his mind as well for his upcoming confrontation with Soot and the Speedstorm. Sarah also gives Max a gift to help him fight Soot. Max is called back to the Navy SEALs base, where he works with his intelligence team to gather information about the Black Vipers and their plans. Knowing the danger he faces, Max understands the importance of being fully prepared for the next encounter with his formidable enemy. Soot and his Speedstorm army launch an attack on a bridge, creating a chaotic scene with the risk of causing destruction and injuring innocents. Max and his team are sent in to stop the chaos. Upon arriving at the mission location, Navy SEALs are outfitted with helmets and masks to prevent a lack of oxygen as they face Soot. However, Max notices that the Speedstorm troopers are the only ones present, and Soot has not alerted them to his presence. Max discovers that his mother Sarah Smith's gift will come in handy in the upcoming battle with Soot. Equipped with futuristic weapons, the Speed Stormtroopers arrive to fight Max and his team. Max remains calm to prevent his heart rate from increasing. Max, in his human form, takes on the soldiers without having to turn into metal or smoke to hide his abilities from his team. Despite taking several hits from the speedy soldiers, Max fights back with his exceptional power of super strength. He also realizes that the Speed Stormtroopers' speed comes from their uniforms and shoots the energy source into their uniforms' chests, causing them to lose their super speed powers and flee like orcs fleeing Gandalf the Grey. After successfully completing the mission, Max receives an urgent call from his commander, who informs him that the secret organization behind Soot and his team is planning a full-scale invasion and has access to advanced warfare technology. Max and his Navy SEAL team are assigned to stop the Black Viper organization's full-scale attack and catch them off guard. This time, Max will bring his mother's gift to Soot in this critical mission. Max and his team embark on a secret mission to scout the enemy base. They deftly infiltrate enemy lines, using their camouflage and stealth techniques to avoid detection. Upon discovering that the base is located on a remote, fortified island surrounded by a stormy sea, they realize the great challenge that awaits them. Despite the odds, Max remains determined to protect his country and thwart the evil organization's nefarious ambitions. With that in mind, he and his team begin their invasion of the island, facing stiff resistance from the Speedstorm Infernal soldiers. Upon reaching the island, the Speedstorm troopers detect strange movements and prepare to attack. But with Max leading the charge, they overcome numerous obstacles, including traps and ambushes, using their experience and skills to outsmart the enemy and emerge victorious. Finally, the heroes arrive at the center of the enemy base where they find Soot and his leader, a mad scientist named Dr. Strongbrain, who intends to use his technology to subdue the world. Max and Soot fight in an epic battle with Soot using all of his powers to try to defeat Max. Meanwhile, the Navy SEALs face the Speedstorm, but Max is prepared to face this powerful enemy. He uses the gift from his mother, Sarah Smith, the wind-shot weapon that releases gusts of wind, built to use against this monster. Max shoots several times until he hits one of Soot's yellow eyes, who does not believe what is happening, and escapes through the ventilation system. Soot begins to regenerate, but disappears. Max emerges victorious from this battle against Soot, and Soot, along with Dr. Strongbrain, retreats from the battle in a yellow and black escape drone. With the threat finally neutralized for the time being, Max and his team return to their base, where they are welcomed as heroes. They know the battle may be over, but the war is not. Max and the Navy SEALs know that they are always ready to face any future threat to protect the world from these superpowered enemies. So Max calls his mother and thanks her for the gift.